Hello everyone, my name is Agent Paul of Mobile Task Force Delta 7, codenamed Bookkeepers, and welcome back to another SCP document review. And the SCP we'll be reviewing today is SCP-8337. Object Class: Currently Previously, SCP-8337's object class have been in order: Safe, Euclid, Keter, Safe, Euclid, Keter. Argus. Note: Argus class anomalies are contained within the purview of a third party. Aegis. Note: Aegis class anomalies were created to protect the Foundation. Decidium. Note: Decidium class anomalies are employed by the Foundation in the decommissioning of another anomalous phenomenon considered to be a subset of Thaumiel class anomalies. Decommissioned: Safe, Euclid, Keter, Apollyon, Keter, and previously Apollyon. Special Containment Procedures. Access to SCP-8337 is prohibited except for those directly involved with its testing. Documents describing 8337 are not to be altered without prior authorization. SCP-8337 is a variable nomenclative abstraction that requires properties based on the object class assigned to it. SCP-8337 is thought to be drawing from the collective Foundation consciousness to determine these properties, including personnel with Level 0 clearance, such as janitors, cooks, etc. Fear and paranoia seem to hold considerable influence over the anomaly's manifestations, and testing personnel often report experiencing existential dread once SCP-8337's object class has been changed. Further information is not available to those outside of the O5 Council and SCP-8337's testing team for security purposes. Experiment Log. Here we have the assigned object class and the result. Safe. Entity became a laptop, which reversed gravity in any office it was opened in. Euclid. Entity became a 262 kilogram corrosive sphere, which teleported to a random Foundation site every 13 hours. Keter. Entity became an invulnerable ontokinetic Felis catus, domestic house cat, specimen that actively hunted children, Foundation researchers, and site directors, specifically by luring them into traffic. Death by a motor vehicle is currently the most commonly recorded method of among Foundation staff. Casualties recorded before next testing phase began. Safe. Entity became a Prunus domestica, European plum tree, specimen, which completely cured humans in contact with it for more than 2 minutes of their PTSD symptoms. Request to keep classification denied. Request to reclassify to Thaumiel denied. The loss of researcher Dickinson over these decisions is not to be considered a fault of the anomaly. Euclid. Entity became a cluster of crystals that sporadically manifested within the Department of Geology. These crystals created bleeding lesions when touched, hiding fears about job performance the longer contact was maintained. These amplified anxieties were highly resistant to amnestics and psychological treatment. Personnel relieved of their duties before next phase of testing began. Keter. Entity became an ambulatory set of 37 human teeth, able to phase through any material, perceived by individuals without Level 3 clearance to be pieces of. After witnessing SCP-8337, affected victims would experience rate dependent on their clearance level. Personnel injured before the next phase of testing began. Argus. Entity manifested into the offices of Group of Interest 012, aka Marshall, Carter, and Dark Ltd, as a 3-meter tall silver humanoid, with the ability to predict biotech market trends for the next 5 centuries. Marshall Carter and Dark losses estimated at USD when next testing phase began. Internal interviews of 5 MTF leaders suggest this consequence made them more confident in their operations, given the danger Marshall Carter and Dark's anomaly trafficking poses to the sub-Veil world. Aegis. Entity became a widespread noospheric anti-meme which automatically and painlessly amnesticized sapient beings, possessing unauthorized knowledge of the Foundation's existence. Hours of manpower. USD were saved during this phase of testing, along with lives, estimated to be lost through the complications of traditional amnesticization techniques. An 05 council vote of 7-6 was decided in order to move SCP-8337 from this object class. Decidium. Entity became an indestructible plastic star wand, capable of completely and permanently removing the thaumic, antimemetic, or cognito-hazardous capabilities of any phenomena it touched. Dangerous objects decommissioned before the next phase of testing began. Internal surveys suggest the decommissioning of these objects greatly decreased the anxiety of 89% of Foundation staff. Decommissioned. Note: Object class was entered in accidentally trying to update documentation on another anomaly. Entity vanished. Safe. SCP-8337 did not respond. Euclid. SCP-8337 did not respond. Keter. SCP-8337 did not respond. Apollyon. SCP-8337 did not respond. Keter. SCP-8337 did not respond. Apollyon. SCP-8337 did not respond. SCP-8337 did not respond. And that is it. One of the more interesting SCPs. Wonder if we'll ever be able to get it back. Thank you all so much for listening or watching. My name is Agent Paul of MTF Delta 7, and I'll see you next week with another document review. Bye.